Hey guys, I'm back. Yeah, I know I practically don't upload, but hopefully we can fix that. I still don't know. As I was recording, I'm gonna go pick up the festival boosters. So we're gonna be covering Uranus, Valkyria, and an IG icon update. So while that's gonna happen today, as the set's gonna come out, I decided to try Animus one more time. This time we're going to go with pure Animus, no jank, no nothing. So, and it's surprisingly more powerful than I give it credit for. I shit on it a lot, but it's actually not that bad. I'll explain what I think about it as we go along. So, to start, we are starting with the right line, the default right line. I'm not going to explain too much. This one. Basically, when you go second, draw 1. Grade 1, when you wrote from the grade 2, you Soul Blast 1, you draw 2 cards, and then you discard a normal unit. The grade 2, when it's rolled upon by a grade 3 Liael, in its card name, you choose 3 normal units from your draw, return them to the bottom of the deck, and if you did choose 3 or more, you don't choose 3, you choose any number of normal units. And then you put them at the bottom. If you choose 3 or more, you draw a card. Then Liael Amorta, which is the effect that we'll be using this time around, which is actually surprisingly not that bad, which is weird, but hey. The first effect, when this unit attack, you counterblast 1, bind 1 of your rear guards, choose a card with the same name that you bound this turn from your deck, and then call it to the rear guard circle, and then shuffle your deck. The second effect is very interesting, and is what makes this deck, or this archetype Liael archetype very strong. In the Kita side, which is when this unit is placed onto a Guardian Circle, you discard a card, choose 2 cards from your binder, put them to the bottom of your deck, and then you choose a Fatal 1 Vanguard, and then it cannot be hit until the end of the battle. Basically, it functions as a PG, because the text is basically a PG. Then the Divine skill is basically when at the end of battle, this unit attack, if your opponent's grade 3 or greater, you can write a copy of a card with the same name as this unit as stand, and it gets -1 drive. I still don't like the -1 drive. Bushiroad, why? It's not that strong. Anyway, but they did that. Interestingly, it says same name as her, so Animus will count because Animus would have Fatal 1 of time Liael Amorta, which is this. So it's kind of interesting. So you can do a lot of unique stuff with that. For our main deck, we obviously run our 4, the one who bears a sin, Liael Animus. The skill is quite unique. First effect, it cannot be wrote. It can only be wrote from Odium or Amorta. So that's keep that in mind. So you can't do this in Draconius. Although if you guys want to see a Draconius build, I have one in the channel. Not very good. Didn't pay off. Never played it again. When this unit is placed on, basically if it wrote from Liael, from an Amorta or Odium, you Persona Ride, so you get your standard turn 4. Then it gets, when this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, choose a card with Liael, choose a card with Amorta or Odium in its card name, and then it gains all the abilities and the names. So it counts until the end of the fight. So if Blank Maya try to deny it, it doesn't, because it's already stapled onto the unit, so you don't have to worry about that. And the second thing is it gains the text until end of game, end of the fight, this specific card that you wrote. So it's really funny. So technically, if there is a funny card effect that moves this to Guardian Circle, you could perfect card yourself. It's really weird, because it can technically gain the Guardian Circle effect. Anyway, basically it gains all the effects of the original, so you will be reading off of this text. Then then after that, you look at top 5 cards of the deck, choose up to 1 card, put it in the bind or gauge. In this case, bind obviously, because you're playing Liael. And then if you did choose a card, you shuffle the deck. Then you choose a card, put it into the bind, shuffle the deck. And then you can choose. Then you have to choose a card from your bind zone and then put it to the drop, obviously, which isn't too bad because it lets you it says cards, so you can just choose like face down cards, or just Blank Mire, or Nebula Knights, because it gets bounded, so it's pretty strong. Then the last act ability is at the end of battle, this unit act ability is if you divine skill this fight, if you have used divine skill this fight, you energy blast 3 and you gain the ability at the end of battle this unit attack, stand on rear guard. So it allows you to reserve counter blast sometimes, and it pushes a 5 attack turn, so it's pretty good. And because it is Animus, you can end Odium. The reason why is that so that it doesn't conflict with the first text as well, so keep that in mind. So you can either divine into herself a copy of Animus again and activate Animus effect, or you can divine skill Amorta and then persona Animus. So don't stress too hard about divine skilling into herself or not, because whichever is to your advantage that doesn't force you to commit pointlessly, put stuff in your drop pointlessly, is the one that you're going to go with, and you're fine with it. So keep that in mind. So obviously you got your 4 copies of your persona, right? It's for your grade 3s. Then we run 3 more copies in the main deck of Amorta. Interestingly enough, you can persona write Animus over Amorta over Animus, so that does work. So just keep that in mind. So in a pinch, if you need a persona ride, this is technically 3 more persona rides. So it's kind of like the icon actually in that sense, because it behaves the same way. Basically ride whichever one, but in this case the one is slightly more advantageous than the other, because this is more useful as a shield value. As we've covered, the Guardian Circle effect is just that strong. That's why you run 3 more, because 3 is your standard commitment. Next, we run 4 copies of Blessed Dragon Garboilers. Every Fatal 1 deck uses this at this point. Fatal 1 is Sacred Time, Draconis, Fatal 1 of Liael Amorta, and Fatal 1 and Fatal King of Raziel. Just keep that in mind. If you run a Fatal 1 deck, you're running Garboilers. Obviously, if you're running Liael, you're running either 4 or 3 copies, and if you're running Raziel, you're probably running 1 or 2. See how you feel. Basically, the first effect is when this unit is placed, Soul Blast 1, look at the top card of the deck, and then you can put it at top bottom. You put it bottom, you gain 5,000 power. Simple enough. You wouldn't do this when you place it, because you're going to shuffle anyway. Or if you want the power, you can do it, and you have the soul for it, go ahead. Then you typically would do it after you bind it and call it, and since you're on Amorta's effect, you will bind Garboilers to call Garboilers, so that's fine. Then when this unit dies, it gains 5,000 power. Then if this unit is placed by a Fatal 1, this is on the rear guard by a Fatal 1 in its card name, and you have and you're basically, if you're on limit break 4, you gains 5,000 power when it attacks, and then it is placed by a Fatal 1, you counter blast 1, and it gains 10k instead, and it gets -1 drive, and you can perform drive check until the end of battle. Simple enough. It basically gives you more lethal pressure because you drive check. And the last of our grade 3s, we're running 3 Nebula Knights Order and the Fire Regalas. Yes, we're not playing Draconis. Yes, we do not discard. Actually, that's a lie. This makes you discard more, so discard us the same amount, if not slightly less only. So actually, yeah, this is kind of the most important thing, and EN players are gonna cry. I know we have EN viewers here. I'm sorry, I'm a JP player, you can see. So this is technically the cheapest thing to invest in, because this is actually really cheap in JP. I'm sorry. Basically, you can play this card from your drop zone, and then when you play it, you put it to the bind zone. You look at the top 7 cards, you choose a card from, and then put them to call it to a rearguard circle, the same grade or below, and then you shuffle the deck. Fire Regalas is a unique case where you cannot play this card. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck, you remove it. You remove it. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card, reveal it. It is great. Same grade or lower, you can call it to the rearguard circle. It just needs to be a card, it doesn't need to be a unit. This requires a unit. And then shuffle your deck. If you did not reveal, you draw a card. So it's actually, you can whiff this. This is not bad. This one, I mean, if you want to whiff it, it's not that bad. And at the end of the day because it's dropped. You do a lot of hand calling, surprisingly enough. So this is more of just consistency, and plus Animus can recycle this. So just keep that in mind. Animus allows you to filter back out, so you don't have to be afraid of like bot decking this from like Amorta's effect and stuff. So that's my grade 3s for the main deck. My grade 4s will be this one, Uru and Liael. We'll use the silver rare that I got for a good deal. If my camera can focus. There we go. When this unit is played, the first effect is when this unit is bound, you can, by a grade 3 Liael in its card name, you put in the gauge zone, you look at the top 5 cards of the deck, choose up to 1 card among them is grade 3 or greater. There isn't a regalis. There's a grade 3 card, not greater. There's a grade 3 card that is not a regalis piece, so no fire. And then you can add it to your hand. So you can add like Nebula, Knight's Order, and so your targets would be as relevant as it is. Amorta, plus Dragon Gobuelas, your 3 Nebula Knights, and your Personas. So plenty of targets for this deck. The second effect is when this unit is placed from hand, you counter +1, draw a card. After you prove that you are playing a Liael deck from your right deck, or you are on one. So that's pretty cool. And the third effect is when this unit attacks once per turn, it gains 5,000 power. Then if your opponent's grade 3, it gets 10 instead, and since you gain 10, you bot deck. The interesting thing is, well, the first effect is hard once per turn, so be cautious and be aware of it. But this is your best filter. This you either bind from rear or you use your Animus to bind. That's kind of the goal here. We are on 4 Liael, because I realized you actually have a lot of soul in this deck. You know how it works. Liael is quite fun, actually. Some people opt to not play it. I opt to play it because I'm lazy, I'm cheap. Why I say because the deck set, but yeah, I because I did invest it early, which I regret. Now I'm stuck with common prints, whatever. When this unit is placed on rear, you soul blast 1, look at top 7, choose up 1 Gobuelas or Liael, blast your own Gobuelas or Liael in its card name, add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. It's pretty simple. It helps you find your Personas and your Gobuelas. It's the same number of targets as this, but this top 7, this top 5, so pick your poison there. And when this unit attacks, it gains 5,000 power. If you have a Gobuelas or in bind or rear guard circle, it gains 10,000 instead. And it's continuous, so it's pretty cool. I often don't use it when Gobuelas on rear, which is kind of weird the more I think about it. And I might need to revise how I play the deck, but that's a very interesting technicality. So I only run 8 grade 2s, which is so weird. Grade ratios don't make sense in standard anyway, or in premium, but yeah, so that's our grade 2s. Our grade 1s, we run 1 Maple. Since we have 4 Personas, we are guaranteed a Persona, right? And this will help because, strangely enough, you run out boosters much more easily than you think. And this is a 13k booster when you Persona, right? It calls itself from drop. And then you can get rid of it if you got better boosters. So it's actually not that bad. 3 more. Now the interesting thing is because the ride line, the grade 2, when you ride to grade 2, you will draw 2 and discard a normal unit. These 3 are valid. These 4 are the valid targets. Late Lian, and yes, I have the TDR because I'm funny. You can discard it and you can either call it rest, but you usually call it stand at that point. And then you won't use the second effect, but when this unit is placed, you can draw a card and ditch a card. So if you have a Nebula Knights, I guess you can cycle it out, up to you. But I usually just call it for the body, and that's actually good enough, surprisingly. And for the last of our grade 1 beat stakes, we run 4 Sargon. They've been reprinted in the IG Icon deck. For EM players, they are going to be reprinted in IG Icon deck. Or they have, I'm not sure when this is uploaded. It is the strongest card. It is a staple of every Kita deck. As even Godsman says, hey, if the deck doesn't say you can't play it, you're gonna play it. Basically, at the end, when this unit is boosted, if you have either play in order or have more units, which you will meet in one of the two conditions, usually the order part, it gains 5,000 power. At the end of battle, this unit attacks. You can retire this unit, the top two, add one to hand, and then bot at the other one. Somewhere enough, it pluses you cards. Sometimes you actually might not want to plus, you just want the numbers. Yeah, either way, that's the great ones. Last, we're running 3 PGs. 2 normal and 1 elementary. Elementary is important because stupid guard restrict, and mainly not even for the sentinel restrict, but those guard restricts that, like, in Liael's case, it's more for like the ones that require you to call 2 or more and those kinds. Because sentinel restrict, who the hell cares? You're freaking playing Liael. You have like 3 other PGs that aren't sentinels. It doesn't matter. These 2, we run for early game guarding, and you can bot deck it from the right line, and only the right line. So that's all we do with it. But yes, they're foil because I want to flex. For an over trigger, we're running Amatinoa because I have great games. You can abuse this really well if your first twin drive you check Amatinoa. You have 1, 2, 3 more rearguard attacks for drive check. So yeah, that's gonna kill anyone. We run 3 front triggers because we deck over easily anyway, so fronts is our best bet. And we run 8 crits because we want to rush the shit out of our opponents. And yes, they're all foiled, don't worry about it. Yes, I foil heals, don't worry about it. You saw the IG icon video. I got the full foiled deck, so if you're not, you can see in my shorts, they have it too. So anyway, my general gist of how I feel about this deck is I have underestimated this deck, like, for the longest time. I've like had this in my collection, paid the money, and then never think about it. But the more I play it, the more I go, actually this is not a bad deck. It is surprisingly strong. It is quite refreshing to have 5 attacks again. As you know, most of my decks do kind of 5 attacks, although MOB is 4 now, so but yeah, nonetheless, it's quite fun. And having to have like PG searches, not have to worry about guard restrict, it's definitely quite refreshing. Like I did. So other than that, as always, like and subscribe. Suggest a deck, maybe I can cover it, we'll see. And then stay tuned for PB for the Ren icon, obviously, and the other icon and anniversary decks, as we are more of an encounter channel anyway. So as always, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.